hope you're well. Now, this, people are not really interested, I understand that, but some people are. But there are our potatoes in buckets, look. You can see I've tried to put an irrigation system in there, but I'm not using it at the moment because they don't need much water. Now there's our little cucumber. Now that's grown, I'm sure it has, and so are the tomatoes, look. And Wendy's plant's recovered a bit there. But I thought I'd just show you this, mainly for me. I'm doing this for me, mate. I'm not doing it for anybody else, look. There's Wendy's plant. It's like a black-eyed Susie. I don't think it is. Anyway, look. There's the beans. They're not coming through yet, but it's still a little early. Right. There is something else I wanted to mention. Let me bring you back. I forgot to mention, we have had that on a couple of nights to keep the chill off in here. Yeah, it's I need to find my paraffin before it runs out. Hello everyone. Now I'm just going to give you can see where I am, and I've just give you a bit of a look round just to see how a few bits and bobs are growing. Now that sun is blinding me at the minute. This might not cast me in a very good light. But the thing I wanted to mention, really, one or two people have said to me, you know, you need to sort out the weather. When the wind's blowing, you know, it's terrible on your microphone. Well, I think I've discovered the perfect answer. Mate, this is the perfect answer. Stand in your greenhouse. Now, all I've got to do is carry this round with me on my shoulder. There's no wind in here, mate. This is perfect, isn't it? You know, I think I've cracked it. I mean, who wants one of them little fluffy things on the end of a microphone when you can carry a greenhouse round with you? Makes perfect sense to me. I hope it does to you. Come on, you know I'm having you on. Mate, it's getting a bit warm in this greenhouse. Whew, it's cold outside, but it's sunny. But it's going to change. More rain. Now this is a bit silly, but hopefully you'll laugh at this. I was just thinking, you know, I'm coming up to the time for changing the oil on my car, and mate, I get down on the floor. What a struggle, can't get up. You know, last time I changed the oil, I crawled under the car, and I changed the oil okay, you know, and then it's getting back up after. And I was really proud of myself because I didn't spill any oil at all on the path, and I thought, you know, you've made a good job of that, Graham. Anyway, there I am, climbing up the side of the car because I got a bad knee. And, mate, put my hand in the oil, tipped the bowl over. There was oil everywhere. Oh, Wendy did laugh. As she did, mate. What can you do? You can't do any other, can you? Anyway, you fool. But just before filming this, because it's a bright, mate, that sun is really bright. I can't see. I better look a right idiot, and I just can't see. I was just sat outside because it's a bright morning, but it's going to rain, don't worry. It rains all the time, doesn't it? Anyway, I sat outside on the bench. I thought, this is lovely, isn't it? And I was just thinking, I've got to change that oil, and it's coming up any time. I'm going to have to sort myself out. And I sat there and I thought, you know, when I was my age, I reckon I used to change the oil in my dad's car. I can't remember my dad doing it. I'm sure it was me. Now, my dad, to be fair, my dad was older when he had me. I was the youngest one. But I can't imagine my dad crawling under the car when he gets to my age. He weren't fit enough, mate. He didn't have the best of health. You can be a bit unfortunate, can't you? Quite an heavy smoker, and they did try and kill him at work with a forklift truck, and a load of boards had dropped on him through driving too fast, mate. We thought that'd do him, to be honest. But he got a little bit better, and he did have a decent retirement. And anyway, I've gone off track a bit there, ain't I? Anyway, my thought was, made me smile, mate. You got to remember the good bits. I can remember he'd had this accident and all this, and he'd got a caravan at the coast. You know, it were only an oldish one. It were a very basic site, mate. It was fantastic. You can't beat it. It was lovely. And they used to go for months on end and leave me on my own at home. I mean, I was only a teenager and in my early 20s, but I think you could trust me. And I used to get loads of lads come round and we used to have a laugh, but we never had no bother. If anybody didn't behave, he didn't come again, it was easy. But never had no bother. And I had loads of aunts and uncles, brother and sister living close, so never short of a meal if I couldn't be bothered to cook. It was great, to be honest. Anyway, what I was going to tell you, when he said to me, he says, I don't feel like driving anymore, but his health did improve, you know, but when he didn't feel well, and I thought, well, I've only got a motorbike licence and I weren't very interested in cars, and I thought, I'll buy a three-wheeler. So I went out and I bought this Reliant, I think a Reliant Regal. It was a 750, I think, the engine, the old green one, just like Del Boy's van, but mine was green. And I bought this van and I thought, oh, this is great. Anyway, mate, if you drove it 5 or 6 miles and you used the brakes, I didn't realise at the time, well, I did, it used to seize up. The brakes used to seize up, and put the brakes on, you couldn't move. Even if you stopped, you couldn't pull away, and the burning smell. Anyway, one of my uncles had a look at it with me and he said, you know, it's the brakes. So we had it all to bits, fixed that. And my dad says, you expect us to go to the coast in that thing? I said, don't worry, it'll be all right. I'll get it sorted out. And this carried on for a bit. I had breakdowns and, oh God, mate, that thing was terrible. But I've still happy memories, but it was a right thing. Anyway, what I did, I says to me dad, well, I'll take you to the coast in the three-wheeler so you can look at your van. And he was feeling a bit better. And I says, oh, we'll be all right, you know. And it had a seat in the back. And I thought, oh, this ain't going to be very good, is it? And he says, well, let's go out in it and see how it's going now. Because I think he thought, you know, this is going to be a disaster. So we drive round in this. And I said to him, look, it's all right. And he says, well, what's all that steam? What's all that steam coming out the bonnet? And I said, Dad, don't worry, it's all right. And he says, it's steaming, look. He says, there's something wrong, something's burst, look, it's steaming. I says, oh, I don't know, nah, it ain't no, you know, anyway, this steam, it got worse and worse. I think my dad worried it was going to catch fire. My God, these plastic pigs, mate, they were great, weren't they? Anyway, now I don't know what possessed me at this point, but mate, it was steaming quite a lot. And I says, oh, well, we're all right, you know. You could see my dad worried to death. Mate, it was bad enough as it was without me making it worse. So I don't know what possessed me, but it had the old, I don't know whether you can remember, the Mini had like a little, you know, the old Mini, it had like a little ashtray in it with a lift up cap. I think it used to be in the doors. I can always remember them. And the thing I remember, I had one in this Reliant right in the dashboard, because I used to say to people, well, it's like a proper car, look, the Minis have got them. Anyway, if you know what I mean. And now I don't know what possessed me, but for some unknown reason I got this ashtray and pulled it out. Now the dashboard went straight into the engine compartment, mate, in seconds. You just couldn't see. The old van was full of steam. And my dad's going, what are you doing? I thought, I was only young, and I thought, God, I don't know what I'm doing. I've no idea. So we pulled up, opened all the windows, mate. This thing, there was steam everywhere. And he says, I'm not going to the coast in this thing. I think that was a good decision. Anyway, over a few months, my dad's health got a bit better, and he says, I feel more like driving now, you know. I mean, they didn't stop him driving at that time, he just didn't feel up to it. But he actually improved, and he did start driving again, and mate, had some laughs in that three-wheeler. It was terrible, but this is probably a bit boring to you, I don't know, but I thought it was funny. And I just sat there just now, just chuckling to myself, mate, we ain't right, are we? You know what I mean? No wonder the neighbours think you're crazy. Who cares? I don't care. I just thought you've had a bit of a laugh out of that. It's made me chuckle. Anyway, that's it. I'm going back to Wendy now, and we're going out. We're going to see my aunt. So look after yourselves, and we'll see you soon. Bye.